All right. We have learned about the loop. Now it's time to practice. Now I'll say in advance, most WordPress developers, when they're starting out, don't memorize the loop. They just copy and paste it when they need it. But if you remember that it's just 3 small things, it's not too hard to do from memory. So I won't get upset. I won't find out if you cheat and you copy and paste it or look at the code while you're doing, but we're going to try to practice this from memory and get that if we can, because it's a handy thing to be able to bang out without needing to look up. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to start off with activating the theme 1.8, the loop, the starter files, the starter theme. That's going to have all the comments and everything that we need. You'll pop open the index.php. You'll see all the comments. You're going to code out the loop. You'll see it's very clear where you want to do this. The PHP blocks are kind of there and ready for you. And then within the loop, within the while loop portion of it, use the title and the content to display the content, display a 404 message using the _e if there's no content available. And then since this theme doesn't really have a menu, so to say, you could just open a page or post from within the WordPress admin area. So navigate to that page and then click View Post, and you could test it that way. So I know this may be tricky or not make complete sense, but try to take a stab at it, pause it here, go test this out, code it out, and see how far you can get, and then come back and I'll walk through how I would approach this. Okay, so hopefully you coded this thing out, no problem, and we're just going to verify what you did. We start off here. The first thing we have is an if statement. Now, using the WordPress coding standards, I'm putting some extra spaces in here, and then it's a special WordPress function called have post. And so this will say if there are posts, then it proceeds. Now I could either keep writing or I can go down and code the closing or the else statement and then the end if, but I'm just going to keep on going here. Now the next thing is that there is a colon instead of a semicolon. This is a special WordPress short code. I'm sorry, this is a PHP short code. This is not WordPress specific, and it would allow us to close out this if statement when normally we would write an if statement like this. We could set the condition, close that tag, do something, and then pick it back up else later. So that's how we're going to do that. The second statement is a while statement. So we say if there are posts, while, again, have posts. Hey, and you know what? Missed that there. Okay, have posts. You may see I've got some short codes here. So when I start typing have posts, notice that it automatically recommends it. And whatever code editor you're using, whether it's Atom or Sublime Text 2 or PHP Storm, they're all going to have some snippet libraries that you could add that will automatically give you some of these WordPress features. So you could check those out on your own. We don't really need them at this point, but if you're wondering why it's suggesting that for me, then now you know. Okay, so now we have our if and our while set up. The last thing is just going to be the post singular because it's getting 1, and then a semicolon because we're going to end this PHP line here. This is just calling a function versus this is starting a new loop. This is starting a conditional, so that's why we have the colons there versus the semicolon. Okay, now before I display the title and content, I'm going to skip down here next, and I'm going to finish out this end while. And the reason we do that first is we could see the if comes first and then the while comes second. So we need to close them out in reverse order. We say and while, and then we're not actually going to close out our if statement here. We're going to say else. So that will allow you to proceed, display some other message if that if statement is not met. And then finally down here we type end if, one word, semicolon. So that's going to close out the whole loop. Now we can come back in and look at the title and the content. I'm going to keep it easy and do it this way. Although as we go on later in this course, you'll learn that there are different ways to echo this out, and you've actually already seen one. And you may not know this already because we haven't talked about it yet, but the title is going to be need to wrap in some tags, and the content will automatically include some paragraph tags or whatever else is needed there. So that is how that's going to work. And then the PHP echo statement that allows the string to be translated, we're just going to say, sorry, no content found. And then we have to include our text domain. So what is that? That is usually stored up in the style.css. And we could see here it's PHP for WP. Again, this is going a bit beyond. This is going to have to do with translating our theme and namespacing and all this stuff we'll talk about later. So we're just going to add PHP for WP for now. You may have just thrown in text domain. That's fine. You didn't know yet where to look. I'm just kind of showing some things as we get into this, and we'll come back to all this in more depth. Okay, so now we have our starter theme coded out. We have the loop built. Let's go ahead and check if it works. So I have my theme activated. The way I'm going to test that it works is I'm going to open up a page. Now I have a bunch of dummy pages here. You might only have a sample page. You might want to throw in an extra page or two. Don't worry that I have more content than you. That's not important right now. But what I want to do is click view. So I'm going to open this up this way, and boom, look at that. I've got my about page. I'm going to come back in and come into posts and check out a post here. Check that out. I've got a post working. So that loop will work for a post or a page. Now I'm going to come into appearance and customize. Notice that we don't have the right code in here for us to see the title bar even though we're logged in, or that menu bar. But I can come into static front page and change to latest blog posts. And again, I have a bunch of blog posts. You may just have a hello world. Throw in an extra one just so you could have 2 or 3 posts, and then you'll see that the same loop we coded, it automatically is going to figure out, hey, on this home page, I want to display a bunch of them. And then if we change to a static page, I have a page here called home. It's all just dummy data, but you could change it to your sample page, or if you want to create a home page. But you'll see that your loop works there. So whether we're reviewing blog posts, our pages, our static home page, our blog listing page, that simple loop is going to work for all of them. And then we'll look later on at this course about how we can customize it, what we could do inside of it. And that what we could do inside of a theme brings us to template tags. So let's take a look in the next lesson at template tags, but please make sure you go code out that loop, and bonus points to all y'all who can memorize it. Again, it's an if, a while, have posts, and the post. Okay, good luck, and I'll see you in the next lesson.